Man, I'm in the crossroads. What's up, y'all? This is Al. I got game. And basically, I'm in the crossroads, man. I don't know what I'm going to do now at 59. If I'm going to really stick it out with the NFL anymore. Uh, it's just, I'm at the age, man, where I saw the good times of sports where teams just showed up, they played, we watched the news, right? We watched the sports, and they just gave us the scores and highlights. That's it. Now, all of a sudden, man, I guess I'm just too old because when you get to a certain age, a lot of times you just hang it up, and you go find something else to do and let the new generation experience it how they're going to experience it. And I guess if you go into their mindset, that is what's normal to them, almost the same way as it was when I was young, and probably what was normal to me, and probably different in the mindset of my older people, right, of the generation at that time. So they may have had a different way of seeing it than I seen it. But I think, did I really see it differently than they seen it? Because football was a contact sports, and players, these guys were gladiators. That's basically what football is. It's a gladiator sport. And you get the best physically fit, top tier players to represent your city, your state, in a fun time affair for the most part. But you got issues, right? You got times where players can get hurt. So over the years, they started gravitating, trying to lobby to keep players safe, because when they walked away from the game, they body, mentality, their mind, all these hits they took came ahead. And for the most part, we don't hear about it, right? But it's there. So we all know it's there, but they don't really put it out there like they should, right? In the medical field. But later on, it did start coming around, and you started seeing what was taking place. So when they changed it up and they started making it more capable for players to play the game, love the game, hopefully walk away from it, and then be recognized as one of the greats. We are with that. That's what we want, right? We don't. I mean, I I come from the Ronnie Lott days. If you want to talk about somebody that was one of your hardest hitters that you can witness on the field, and you knew every Sunday when they was on the field, all you looked for was Ronnie Lott. That's it. When I saw San Francisco, I was a San Francisco hater. I ain't gonna lie, but Ronnie Lott, when it came to saying what I wanted to see on that field, I'm looking for Ronnie Lott. I'm looking to see what Ronnie Lott gonna do. I'm not thinking about the offense. I'm not thinking about the quarterback. All I want to see is Ronnie Lott, because I mean he will put the punishment on anybody, right? So I love watching the sport for that reason. And to me, he walked away. I don't know what he's doing today, but I ain't never heard nobody say Ronnie Lott is in a bad situation for all the layouts he laid on people. If you go watch video of him, if you don't know anything about Ronnie Lott and you're a youngster, go to YouTube, put it on Ronnie Lott. You will see what I'm talking about. There's this one football. It's a lot of hard hitters out there, but I think Ronnie Lott, man, just stood out because their uniforms had that burgundy red color to it, so it looked like blood, bro. And then it had that gold color to it as well. So everything stood out, man, with these boys, and it just looked like they were bringing it. So yeah, Ronnie Lott was one of the greatest that you've ever witnessed in that time frame of putting in that work and leaving it on the field. But that's just it. That is what I'm talking about when I say leave it on the field. When you get older, right? And I'm old school, so I grew up where you don't. My grandmother, people would say, only people gossip are women, right? Only people gossip are women, and just because you talking, right, like I'm doing right now, it's not gossiping. This is an opinion right here. So it's not gossiping, because I'm not gonna do what a lot of people love to do, and that is take advantage of a person's situation for their own satisfaction of leveling up, right? So what am I getting at here? In today's world, when it comes to sports, you get so much more than the brand itself, right? You do not get a chance to actually just watch, enjoy. That was a hell of a game, right? They almost had it. Next year gonna be our year. You know what I mean? All that kind of conversation. Now, because you got everybody and their mama able to do a podcast, able to be media, and it's more of a hype than anything. Everybody's got an opinion and everybody's gossiping, right? As soon as somebody does something, everybody wants to throw their 2 cents into it. Why? Because it gives them ratings, it gives them views. It seems like a lot of people live for that type of moment now. Everybody doesn't care about the sport. They want to know about the person, right? The media, they do this on a regular basis now. Everything is about what a person's lifestyle is like once they get off the field, once they get off the court, once they walk off the mound, once they get off the soccer field, hockey field. Well, not so much hockey. I don't know anything about hockey really, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't really know anything about soccer, so I'm going to leave that one alone. But it just seems like every time we look up, man, we are hearing about somebody's personal business, whether they put it out there or not. A lot of this stuff don't even be the players themselves putting this out. This just got to do with people that are in the right place, see something, and then they can't help but spill the beans, right? You got these TV drama shows like a TMZ, ESPN, Fox Sports, all these guys with these podcasts and things like that, acting like they're in the lifestyle of that person that they're talking about, right? You don't live under the roof. You don't wake up and eat with this person, but yet and still, you act like what you say holds water, and you act like people don't have flaws in their life, right? So people are human. If they haven't done anything that is so bad, right, that it's causing somebody a life loss, right, putting somebody in a situation that is so detrimental that you got to say something, then what are we talking about here? I don't need to hear about how many players got kids, right? I don't need to hear that this man went to court and paid the woman $100-something million, but he doesn't want to see the kid. That's that man's business. You know how many people, regular people in this world, do these same things every day? Every day. Do the same thing. No different from the rich and famous. Poor man game, same thing. Middle class man, same thing. Women doing what they do to men, same thing on all levels, right? Gave the opinion about Shannon Sharp, and the only thing I just said about that was it was a mark. That's how I feel about it. I just felt he got played, and it was a mark. Bad on his part for doing what he did, but, you know, he put himself out there. So when you're talking about gossip, that's not really gossiping when the person is actually spilling the beans themselves. That's not gossiping. But my thoughts on that was, because that is the newest thing that's out, my opinion was he just got put on a plate and he got served up. And now, right, it all came ahead, and there's probably more stuff that's coming out, but I don't care, right? Because that's that man's life. That's that man's personal. Whatever he do, whatever he does is him. He didn't kill nobody. He didn't rape nobody, even though they trying to claim, right, that is what the deal is, assault and all that. I'm like, what's your definition of it? Because if you didn't report it as soon as it took place, what? You so afraid that you can't say anything about the situation? It's a money grab. That's all it is. It's a money grab. So he didn't like you. He didn't marry you. He didn't say he just wanted to be with you. So now what you're going to do? Because it works. Because you got people in the bottom of the barrel, the leeches, that's looking for anything they can do. And trust me, like we always say, when it comes to us, we always can get played and used, and nobody cares, right? I hate to say it. I'm not trying to throw that card out there, but when you look at the statistics, when something we do. It doesn't get swept under the rug 100%. There's always some backlash to it, right? That's just being real. That's just, it's not anything dealing with the race or anything like that. If you want to call it that, that's not reaching for that. That is just an actual fact. Everybody knows this. If you want to be real, it's an actual fact. So yeah, he put his own self out there, because when you do things, you have to guard yourself, right? Especially you gotta move differently than a person like myself and like others would do. I can do things that nobody a better eye about it, right? They wouldn't think anything about it. But let me have status. Let me be that dude, right? They're gonna be like, oh, we got him, right? Let's go for that. Let's go for his wallet. Let's see how bad he is now, right? We're gonna put this out if you don't play ball with us. That's what happens. It's extortion. So basically, this is what this is to me. He's just being extorted, right? And he was being played as a mark. So I leave it at that. But no, I actually turned off and I got rid of my streaming subscription, right? Because me personally, like I said, man, when you reach a certain age, you just look at it differently. And I'm not a gambler, so I'm like, why am I going to be watching something now that seems like it's all based on money, gambling, right? Every time you look up, somebody's got a commercial about betting, right? Even on the ESPN itself, they run commercials about betting, right? So all this stuff is coming out, and it almost seems like, how many people are betting here? Okay, let's do this, because they locked up people for point shaving. Now it's almost, how crazy this is in marijuana, right? People used to get locked up for marijuana, right? Now they legalized it. Almost all the way across the board. It's almost legalized. So you still got people at the time when it was being illegal, probably still in jail, right? But the area they probably got caught in, it's probably legal now, but it wasn't at the time. So it's almost like being hypocritical. You're going to say this is illegal, but now we're going to legalize it. So now you got sports betting, and you had people that were setting the stage and setting the tone for the outcome, right? And they were point shaved. That's illegal. You can't do that. But now you got everybody sports betting. So now, how do you trust the system? When you think something's supposed to happen in a sport, in a game, and you think it's supposed to go a certain way, right? Because this team is so dominant, you're curious, what just happened? What just happened? And then you come to find out that everybody was betting the farm on that team. And certain entities said, hey, we're not having it. Can't give up this. Let them enjoy it. Let them drink. Let them party. But hey, they not going to party for the victory. They can party all they want for the game itself, but they're not going to party for that victory, because we got money here, and we ain't finna lose this money. So it's probably always been, betting has always existed in sports. It just has. It's always existed. But now it's so much elevated, man, that everybody can do it. Everybody, if you're 18 years old, you in, right? You're in. And trust me, you got a lot of people, whether you got your head in the sand and you just don't see it, but if you're around it, right? Because like I said, I'm a poker player. And when I'm playing poker, you can see the guys on their phones. Everybody and their mama, they're playing poker and they're setting their bets at the same time. The TVs are right there for everybody to see the game. You can hear them asking, what's the points? And that's what they're doing. That is when you just understand the science, when you understand the product. Now it's to the point that it's like you're looking at it, but it's almost now, it's just entertainment. It's always been entertainment, but it always seemed like once upon a time it was on an up and up. If you win, you win, right? You can bet on what you think the game is going to be, but nobody's trying to really control it, right? It's like a lottery. If you hit the right number, you win. That is the way that you saw betting back then, at least in my opinion. Now it's almost like, hey, how many people doing this? How many people going for here? All right, we got to set the tone. We can't let this happen. Get everybody involved and let them know this is what you got to go out there and do. I think, it's just one of them deals. But yeah, me on sports, man, it just get to the point now. Like I said, I got rid of my streaming service, the whole nine, because that's the only reason I still kept it was to watch sports. But now I'm just to the point now that I'm not even involved with even thinking. I didn't even entertain the draft. When the NFL draft came up, only way I knew about Shador, Deion's son, the only reason I knew about that is through conversation. I had no idea what round he went out in. And then when they said, because up to that time, I was still watching college football. So I do know that when I heard when they selected him, either this was set in stone that they were going to the team already knew what team already had an idea they wanted him. So it just looked like he should have went early. But hey, they had to hold on and wait until it got to that team, because that was the team that was guaranteed to get him. They probably already set it up that he was going there, right? That's the way I seen it. Everybody was mad and saying he should have probably went like he should have went, and I get it. But at the same time, think about it. Sports has changed. It has changed. It's not the same as it used to be. It has changed. That's just my opinion. So I look at it like I'm not a fan. I guess I look at it now because I'm not really a fan of it, because it leaves a bad taste in my mouth compared to what I knew I grew up seeing to the time that we are where we at now. It just seems like every year sports is going lower and lower. Even though, it's still up here, it still seems like for the moral purpose of it, it's going lower. It's dropping. There's nothing but actors now. It's almost like watching wrestling. It's just a bunch of actors. They're good at what they do. They're professionals. They keep you entertained. They do what they do and they can sell it. But at the same time, it's entertainment. And sports in general, there's probably a lot of competitive things going on still. Tennis, golf, things like that. But when it seems like now when it comes to watching the sports that you really love watching, which is football, baseball, basketball, things like that, it almost seems like the fix can be in. You just never know. So it almost makes it feel like, what are we doing here? So anyway, that's my opinion on that. With that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Peace.